remixer, music producer, songwriter, vocal arranger, basically musician extraordinaire. So today, he has the gracious enough to provide us some industry knowledge, self-experience, feedback, and he is going to answer all of your questions today. So let's give a hand.
All right, thanks a lot, and thank you very much for having me. I'm late sometimes, but didn't mean to be late. I was actually in another building. I just got scheduled for another room, so I was standing over going like, wow, there's absolutely nobody showed up. But now I got the warm faces, and I feel the love in the room, and I feel great. So, I thought a little bit about this this presentation. I've been invited to be the artist in residence here for this week, and I went to one of my mentors, Lee Burke, president of Berklee College of Music, where I graduated from, to ask him, Lee, how can I really do a great job, inspire students in Columbia and reply to the faculty? And he said, well, my suggestion is to bring an army. So I reached into Chicago and was semi-successful in doing so. I have some really interesting industry colleagues and friends that are coming by this week and are continuing to come by. I have a very special guest industry VIP coming at 2 o'clock today. So yesterday, let's see, we started off with music dealers on Monday, and on Tuesday we had Ira and Tilly's, who was the head of music at Leo Burnett, doing campaigns like McDonald's and BlackBerry and all kinds of great stuff. He was a lot of fun yesterday. And we had the chairmen of music dealers last night. Today in your class, I've invited Vince Lawrence, and Vince is really the institution of house music. Right? When you think about Chicago and Chicago house and remixing, he was the start of it. Best friends with R. Kelly, and the remixes for Kings and Britney and all kinds of people. So he's coming at 2. I just spoke with him. Because I didn't want him to be standing over there and after doing his hookup, he's like, you gotta be kidding me, there's nobody there. So he's definitely coming. I just spoke with him for the last hour. And what we're gonna do, and then also this evening, is producer Johnny Kaye, who's a Grammy Award-winning producer, and he has his phenomenal recording studio down the street here called Groove Masters, which is a multi-million-dollar facility. And he's like the rocker guy. Stain and Tool and Sum 41 and Linkin Park, and that's like his world that he travels in. So he's coming tonight for the 6:30 to 9:30. We're going to be very, very straight, and very honest today. So if it's okay, again, I've got this sort of focused 8-point programming. That's going to take up the first couple hours of our meeting together. And then Vince is going to come in and we're going to conduct this interview. And there'll be plenty of time for questions and answers, because you'll have a lot of things that you're thinking about. And as I've already, thanks so much, as I've already secured this relationship now, what we don't get done today, we can get done this lifetime. We just have to reach me after I leave here, all right? So, okay. So I'm going to start. And in the agenda, there's also, I've had a chance to really look at your course in advance and made a bunch of footnotes. So I'm going to kind of ask you about how this course is going and what you're doing and what you're thinking about these things that are being shared with you by your teachers, by Zach, and Jerry, and Bob. I have something about my own professional career and my experiences. If that's interesting to you, I have a couple of bullet points. I'll tell you about who I am and what I do, and then I have a sort of daily life 101 strategies for sustaining a global career, which I so far haven't gotten to in any of the lectures because we just roll with it where we're at and what's of interest. And then I have a suggested reading list that I'd like to share with you, the kinds of stuff that I'm reading and the books and so on and so forth. And then, the interview with our industry guests. So is that all cool with everybody? Does it sound all right? Tight? Okay, good. So then let me start with my address then. Okay. I've done this on in a theme of 3 things: vision, determination, and appreciation. Okay. Throughout the week, I'll share an honest appraisal of my own life and career. It's definitely a creative work in progress, being shaped, refined, and augmented by the depth of my study, the interconnectedness of my global relationships, the hunger and ambition that doesn't allow me to rest on past accomplishments, and the understanding that I don't have all the answers. I'm one of you, a student in the game of life, majoring in humanism as a guitarist, musician, writer, producer, and music business entrepreneur. And like you, my goals are to advance my skills and better my life. You have the opportunity right here, right now at Columbia College to elevate and escalate your talent and prepare for competitive readiness in the professional music industry by mastering your chosen disciplines. Of course, we all can use a little luck. My last tip is that the harder you work, the luckier you get. It's for you. Thank you. I asked the question at the beginning of the class, are we here all dialed in with the goal and aspiration to have professional music careers? And you all absolutely said yes, right? It's a little bit tired, but it was a yes across the board, right? Okay, so that means that you have to make money at it. And the clever way to say it is you have to monetize your brand. You have to monetize your services. That just means you have to get paid. You have to get paid at doing this. So if you're a track producer, songwriter, engineer, music business attorney, I don't know any attorneys that don't get paid. I just don't know any of them. I know them all that get paid, and they're very good at getting paid, much better than some of the musicians who are gigging in clubs. So it's important. It's very, very important to find a way to earn money at what you do. Let me say another part of this. Not everybody's going to be famous. And I don't know that being famous, being a celebrity, is the ultimate goal. I think, I'll tell you my take on it. The ultimate goal is to be excellent at what you do. And the ultimate goal is to earn a living and to make money at what you do. And the ultimate goal, really ultimate goal, is to create your own lane. You succeed in your own lane, and in your own lane. Yeah! Vince Lawrence, everybody.
Hey, I had a good cab driver.
Make yourself at home. I'm just going to wrap up with them. We're going to move to the Vince side of things. So you asked me a question. So now what we're going to do, it's okay with everybody, we're going to wrap up on the shele thing. I'm going to put our focus onto our industry guest, Vince Lawrence.
Hello, sir.
How are you, brother? Great to see you.
Before we start, is that your laptop?
That's not my laptop, but it's available. If the technology is available. Oh, I'm sorry. The professor of this class is right there, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about Vince and his life. It's really, I can add a little bit more of a formal bio that I'm going to share with you. I can tell you with all certainty that, and this is a rare one. This is the institution of house music, right here. Chicago is famous for house, and house is a kind of style that has permeated the entire world. It's really, really, as I told you about my travels to Europe, this is where I got into electronic dance music. But where it started is with Vince. And Vince has a lot of experience and a lot of stories he's going to share with you today. I'll read you a little bit about Vince. Vince Lawrence is an internationally recognized innovator in dance music. Industry insiders recognize Vince as co-author of the first recording officially designated house music, credited with the initial organization of Trax Records, the seminal Chicago house label. Lawrence has exposed some of the dance world's greatest prodigies, including Marshall Jefferson, Adonis, Byron Stingley, Farley, Ron Hardy, Screaming Rachel, Jesse Saunders, while inspiring countless others. As founder of the Slang music group, Lawrence has evolved from artist and producer to entrepreneur and marketer. Above all, he is a veteran of the street with an intuitive understanding of what youth culture craves, be it style and music or consumer products that he telegraphs to the street through soundtracks for advertising or non-traditional under-the-radar field marketing programs. Vince Lawrence's intimate relationship with pop culture and lifelong love of music have evolved into a unique insight that is eagerly sought out, from trend hunters of Madison Avenue to the likes of pop stars all over the world. And a little bit about Slang. The Chicago-based music producers who specialize in creating remix and original music for television commercials, artists, film, and gaming. Noted for achievements in house music, owner-producer Vince Lawrence has created a destination for electronic music makers of every genre. Slang Music Group has multiple producer artists, and has received many gold and platinum awards. Remix artists are for acts such as Pink, Jonathan Davis, R. Kelly, Enrique Iglesias, Wyclef Jean, John Legend, just to name a few. Slang Music has also been working with new talents from all over the world. Being part of the underground culture, Slang Music Group understands underground culture. We believe the best work comes from truly creative people that live for it. The music producers, artists of Slang dedicate their lives to making music that they truly love. Most recently, Sony Media Software and Sound Genius presents the Vince Lawrence Slang Music Group Chicago Fire, a dance music anthology. 5 construction kit libraries that explore 5 different aspects of the club music experience: deep house, electro, old soul. And since we got Vince right here, we're going to have him tell you about it instead of me reading from it from paper. So once again, let's welcome our industry guest, Vince Lawrence.
Would you believe this is my 3rd stop today?
No, I'm trying. I believe that.
I like to contribute where I can, so I show up on a bunch of teams.
Vince, number 1. Did you have a mentor or someone who inspired you? And if so, what did you learn from that person?
Absolutely. I had several. Mentors. I was raised in the statistical Black American household. Single parent. I'm from Roseland, and I guess I'm a statistical anomaly because every guy on my block is either dead or in jail. So I had a few mentors coming up. When I was in high school, I had a mentor. His name was Mike Roman. He lives across the hall from us, and he was a physics student at the University of Chicago. I learned a lot about physics hanging out with Mike. I was on a track team for my high school, and he was on the track team at the University of Chicago. Learned a lot about track. So at the same time, I learned that practice makes perfect, and that you actually will improve if you work at something. That just about everything about you is like a muscle. If you repeat the process enough, that muscle will get stronger. Later on, I applied that rule. And actually, it's a philosophy at our company now that creativity is a muscle. And the more you exercise creativity in any given discipline, the stronger it'll get. So if you're a lyricist, if you're writing every day 2 or 3 songs a day, your lyric writing will get better. All the sucky lines will go away. You'll stop using them. If you're a musician and you practice, you'll learn your instrument like it's a part of your body. Everybody, you play guitar, right? So you've heard muscle memory.
Yeah.
And that just happened. So I got that from Mike. That like if you do it enough, you'll get good at it. Mentors. Daniel Miller, the president of Mutant Records, was a mentor for me. Not only did he teach me about how to find good food in London, because all the food, English food sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Bad.
Yeah.
So he taught me how to win on that one though. He taught me how to manage my affairs with record companies in a way that was more dignified, because I was a street kid from Roseland selling 50 and 60,000 records out the trunk of his car. And my approach to dealing with David Geffen and Seymour Stein was, at the time kind of ghetto. Like, I want, this is what it is, that's what it is. Daniel was a great mentor in that sense, and he mentored me by introducing me to great people to work with in the studio. So he kind of set a bar. I learned what great was as far as in the studio with production from Daniel Miller. Daniel introduced me to Tony Visconti, who I don't know if you guys know who that is, but
Does anybody know who Tony is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a note so you can,
Tony-
Google this stuff.
He introduced me to Daniel's no punk himself in the studio. He produced the early Depeche Mode records, if anybody knows about those. On his label Mute, they released Depeche Mode, Erasure. Anybody know Mute Records? They put this kid out, Moby, not too long ago. Anyway, he showed me just great people to work with in the studios in London. I got to work with Big Audio Dynamite. He introduced me to Ron Wood from the Rolling Stones. I didn't know that at the time. He just introduced me to this guy, Ron Wood. I told him I needed to borrow a guitar, and he brought this guy, Ron, in, offering to play. I was like, no, I just want to sample it.
Number 4, what elements of your job make you want to go to work every day?
Have y'all seen my studio? Look at those cards.
I guess that's that asked and answered. Huh? Okay.
I wake up every morning and I get to go in that place and play with that stuff, and people pay me to do it. Get out of here. So with that, I don't take it for granted. If I'm working on your stuff, man, I'm gonna make sure it's the best that it can possibly be under the circumstances. If someone hires me to make a commercial, I think about the fact that they're trying to sell a product, and I try to help them connect in a way that's relevant. When singers come to me, I tend to want to make sure that they put their best foot forward so that they can go forward and get that credit and have that opportunity to grow their business. So the reason I the reason I go to work every day is because I get to work at this. I'm not working at the post office. I'm not cleaning out the sewer system. I'm not doing a lot of jobs that a lot of other people are glad to have. I get to go make music, hang out with my friends, travel all over the place, and the only thing that the work asks of me is that I be good at it. So I show up straight, thinking, focused, and trying to get down. That's really it.
That's great. Thank you. You know what's amazing to me is that if Vince has told you that he's been doing this career for 36 years, he's talking about concerts that he's seen, like the first time he's ever seen a show. I mean, that passion and that love is just lit up that way. But let me ask you this, because our class is almost coming to an end, and I know there's some questions that
I saw Prince at the Metro too.
Our Columbia students want to ask. I'm going to ask you, what couple things could you offer to them before we ask the questions that could be helpful for our Columbia students to break into the business? So a couple, 2, 3, 4 tips that you could say to them that would help them break into the business.
That's big.
I know. It's hard to say just a couple, but they want to ask you some questions, so we got to limit it to 3, 4
Question
tips.
everything, but don't feel like you know everything. 1, 2. Question everything, but don't think you know everything. Really. That's
That's pretty good in a nutshell, huh? You guys get that? Everybody got it?